Hello and welcome to the PopCoco Journals. My name is PopCoco, and today we're going to be talking about something borrowed and something new. The idea of the PopCoco Journals is to shine light on positivity, living as an optimist, and essentially just having some outlet for positive growth. Today's episode is no different. We're still going to be talking about optimism and personal growth. We're also going to be talking about where I heard the phrase, what it means to me and how I've applied it to my life, what it means to be original today, and how anyone can be an artist. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. A few days ago, I was watching TV with my mom, and one of these shows came on about a wedding planner and a bride. The wedding planner asked the bride, what things do you need at your wedding? And the bride started going through a poem. I thought the poem was really interesting, and I thought I'd talk about it here. This is how the poem went. Something old, something new. Something borrowed, something blue. And a silver sixpence for her shoe. I thought that poem was really weird, but it stuck with me. Something about it just clicked. So I looked it up and looked up the meaning of what it meant. I won't interpret the whole poem, but two parts really stuck out to me. The something borrowed and the something new part. Essentially, something borrowed is meant to be a wedding dress that the bride or someone else that the bride knows wore at their wedding. And if the bride wears it at her wedding, it's meant to pass on that good fortune from the previous wedding to hers. I thought that was really interesting. The something new part refers to a whole new life after being married, forgetting about the old life and moving on to this new life and being excited for the things to come ahead. So I thought this was a really dope concept. Something borrowed and something new. The fact that you could take something that someone else has used and it could bring you good fortune. And the fact that you could have something new in your life that would signify the next part of your life. Something to be excited about. So I thought about it, and I thought about how I could apply this. Take that concept and make it something positive in my life. It turns out there was a lot more that I could do with this. So sketching and art is something that's been a passion of mine. It was even more of a passion when I was younger. I used to sketch all the time. And somewhere along the lines, I'd stopped. When I got to university, the work had piled up and I was too busy. So the sketching had stopped almost completely. Once in a while, I'd pick up a pencil and sketch, but for the most part, I didn't feel like it was going anywhere. I felt like I'd plateaued. So I took this concept and I thought about it. I thought, could I restart my artistic career with this? And it turns out I could. So one thing I did was I went online, I went to YouTube, and I looked at different things that artists were doing. And I looked at different ways that they were taking their art and making it into something completely different. I also looked at how I could be more original and what I thought originality meant. Turns out that originality isn't what most people think it is. Originality is actually the core concept of something borrowed, something new. So I did more digging, and this is what I found out. I found out that pretty much every single artist isn't completely original. It's not to say that they've never created original work. What I mean is that every single artist takes one element or a couple of elements from their favorite artists, and they combine them together in order to make something completely new and different. Even engineers take pieces from nature in order to solve a problem. So, in my mind, that is the something borrowed part. And when you get good enough at art or creating things, you start to see the different ways that you could use these things, and that's how originality is born. When you have originality born, that's the something new part. So, that's what I do with my sketches. I looked at so many tutorial videos on how to sketch certain things, and then I combined my favorite parts of them. And without realizing it, my handwriting and my artistic style changed the way that I took those elements and used them, and that became my something borrowed, something new. Just like that, my love for art was reignited. And I can say till this day, I have drawn something pretty much every single day. I've even gone as far as venturing into new types of art forms and just trying something completely new. And the only way I could do that is with confidence of other artists. When they've done something, you take a piece of what they've done and you recreate it in your own way. I promised you that I would show you how anyone could become an artist, including yourself. The best way to do that is by applying the principles I've been talking about this whole session. Taking something borrowed and creating something new. The easiest something borrowed to find are the fundamentals of any art form. Art always has fundamentals. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've yet to see that. Art always has fundamentals. When it comes to sketching, you have to see things in shapes and understand planes. Those are the two fundamentals that every artist carries with them, whether they're aware of it or not. After you find the fundamentals, it's important to practice those fundamentals and make sure you get them right. I normally dedicate a week to this, and it usually pays off. You find yourself changing and growing very quickly because you understand the fundamentals so well. And when you understand the fundamentals well, learning everything else becomes really, really easy. I wish I knew this when I was younger, but I never really focused on fundamentals. I always looked at the hardest problem and thought, how could I tackle this? And that's the wrong approach. So, if you're looking to apply something borrowed, something new, always start with the fundamentals and let that carry you through. So there you have it. Something borrowed, something new. I borrowed a phrase from an old wedding poem and turned it into a new way to think positively. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you did, don't forget to hit subscribe. Until next time, this was the PopCoco Journals.